Good day, viewers. My name is Eunice Ogurotimi. Thanks for joining another episode of Justice for You, brought to you by Edford Foundation. We hope our previous episode has been enlightening and insightful. At Edford Foundation, we render free legal representation to indigent inmates and those that have been wrongfully incarcerated. Today, we'll be discussing what the law says about child abuse, and I have with me here Barrister Omotayo Akinrinwa. You are welcome.
Thank you very much.
We are so glad to have you here today.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll be discussing on what the law says about child abuse. Can you tell us who is regarded as a child under the law?
Okay, let me start by saying that there are different laws, international laws, municipal laws that are provided for who exactly a child is. And by international standards, a child is someone that is under the age of 18 years. And thankfully, in Lagos State here, Lagos State has also enacted the child rights law. So by provision of the child rights law, Lagos State also, the child is believed to be someone below the age of 18 years.
Alright. So what does child abuse mean, and can you please paint a scenario?
Okay, child abuse generally involves every act of torture, slavery, servitude, every inhuman behavior or treatment, expose, or should I say, that you expose a child to, that constitutes child abuse. So it is essentially, it proceeds from the basic right, which is the right of the child to dignity. So everything that proceeds from the right, everything that violates that child's right to dignity, like I earlier stated, like the maltreatment, the slavery, the servitude, and the likes, they all constitute child abuse.
Will situations such as letting a child that is meant to be in school, maybe up on the streets or perform other menial jobs, amount to child abuse?
Definitely, it's good. It's part of, because like I stated earlier on, the right of the child includes right to education. So it is expected that the child has that right to, you allow them to go to school, they come back, they mix with their friends, their colleagues, they have that right to leisure, they have that right to recreation and the like. So it's all those ill treatment, all those maltreatment, all those hard labor, like I stated earlier on, servitude, all those things they constitute, hawking on the streets, everything they all constitute child labor, they also constitute child abuse.
Okay, who is capable of abusing a child, and is it just the guardians?
No. Beyond the guardians, the parents are also capable of abusing their child. And aside the parents, the school authority, the teachers, the uncles, the aunties, when it comes to the boarding house, for instance, the prefect, the seniors in the boarding house, anybody is capable of abusing the child as long as that person has an authority over the child.
So are there any protection for children under the Nigerian law?
Yes, there are quite a number of protections for the children under the Nigerian law. And, it is believed that when issues like this happen, let me put it this way. Let's start from the ground now, which is the Constitution itself. The right of the child has been included as part of the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution. Precisely the right to life, dignity, personal liberty, and the likes. So they all constitute ways in which the rights of the child have been protected under the Constitution. And when it comes to even the Lagos State law, the Lagos State law has also provided for the right of the child to education, the right of the child to survival, and the likes.
Right. So we've heard of several cases and scenarios where a child is being molested and sometimes even assaulted. So just recently, we had a case of a girl that her guardian poured hot water on her. So what do you think can be done in such instances, and who are the appropriate authorities to report to?
Okay, when issues like that happen, it is expected that you report to the appropriate authorities. Most times, it's usually the police that is closest to the to the family or to whoever is the aggrieved person. So when issues like that happen, it is expected that guardians will report, or should I say, persons that are aware of that are aware of what the victim is going through, report to the appropriate authorities. And in Lagos State, we have quite a number of those authorities, under the Ministry of Justice.
So the closest people are the police or officials?
Yes, that's the process.
So do you think anything can be done to curtail such cases if the matter is reported?
Yes, if it is reported, aside from the sentiments, the cultural sentiment, and that is usually expressed by family relations, when issues like this happen, it is expected that the culprits, it's expected that they are prosecuted. You understand? So when issues like this happen, people should voice out. The victims should tell people in the environment what they're going through. They should be open about it, express themselves. Then the appropriate authorities should take it up and prosecute such matters.
Alright. So are there any governmental agencies, organizations in charge of cases such as this?
Okay. Yes, there are. There are quite a lot of them. And in Lagos State, at least I know of the Domestic and Sexual Violence Response Team of Lagos State. Then I also know of the Directorate of Citizenship Rights. So, and I believe there's also a family welfare unit in the motion government that takes care of situations like that.
Are there also ways in which a child can be protected from abuses such as this too?
Yes. The most important, which is constant observation and monitoring of the child. So parents should endeavor to always monitor the child, know who the child relates with or run errands for. You understand? You have to understand that you have to monitor them, even for the parents who sometimes from antecedents, it's we find cases whereby parents are also involved in these abuses. So when a community member notices one or two things about the child, or when the relative notices makes some observations about the child, maybe the behavior has changed and the likes, they should question the child, they should probe further to know why exactly the child, why is the child changed in character.
Okay. So can such abuses have any effect on a child?
Yes. Sadly, it is the result of years of child abuse that, in most cases, has presented the situation we have in our country at this moment. Because right from childhood, many people, they've suffered, they've been abused, and as a result of that, they've developed certain ill traits over time, such as depression. Many of them suffer from anxiety. Many of them suffer from suicidal tendencies. Many of them have post-traumatic stress disorder, that's PTSD. So some of them, there are just quite a number of, in fact, more particularly, some of them even tend to start a re-victimization process. So the same thing that they went through when they were a child, when they were actually a child, they tend to reenact when they become an adult. So, and of course, they keep passing it on, and so.
So we've heard statements like, "No, the government help me born my child," meaning the government is not responsible for giving birth to the child for me. So do you think it is appropriate for the government to take children away from their parents, and when the parents are presumed to have failed in their duties?
First of all, I think it's part of the sentiment I referred to earlier. When people start having such sentiments, then you are giving way, or should I say you are allowing these bad incidents. You are allowing them to just occur without any repercussion, without any consequence. Because when issues like this happen, it is expected that you report to the appropriate agencies. And in Lagos State, I'm aware that the Directorate of Citizenship Rights, they take the child away from the parents, from the abuser, then they take custody of the child, and they will adequately provide for the child, the welfare, the education, So just like what you have in developed countries, where you have the what's it called now, the social welfare, permit, you understand? So we have something like that, something similar in Lagos State. So people should stop getting, unnecessarily agitated about what will be the fate of the child after the parent or the guardian has been taken away. They should look out for the well-being of the child, which is the most important thing.
All right, thank you very much, Tayo. Can you also give us your final words on the topic?
Okay. In as much as a child is entitled to certain inalienable rights, the child also has certain obligations. There are certain duties expected of the child by the state. Most important, which is the fact that the child should also respect the parents' wishes. You understand, and of course also meet up with the moral standard of the state. You understand? So I believe when a child does this, also it helps our society become better and better.
Alright, thank you very much,
You're
Tayo.
welcome.
Thanks for joining us on this show. Alright, thank you very much to our viewers. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and also don't forget to like and share our videos. Thank you.